these people think I'm dumb. They saw me walk back and forth, like just stand like an idiot. Like, anyways. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time viewing one of my videos, my name is Elle Morgan and I create content to help better your lives in some way. So if you're interested in seeing what all that's about, then just go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Click that notification bell so you can become a BFF, because by the end of this video you'll see I'll be your best friend in your head and we're just gonna have a good time and you're gonna love it here, I promise. So just go ahead and do that. Thanks. Okay, so on to today's video. So it's gonna be a little bit different today. I have to share a little story time with you guys on something that happened this past Monday. So let's get into it. I attended a networking event, and this is probably the second networking event, like period, that I've attended by myself. So just a little background, I am kind of shy when it comes to settings like that, being by myself, not knowing anybody, having to really talk to people, just like people that I don't know, having to just generate a conversation. Like, yeah, like if it's not like in a work setting, like I'm selling something like in retail, when I worked in retail, it's a little bit, yeah, it's a whole different ball game. That's one of my biggest, I don't want to say fears, but one of my biggest roadblocks, let me say challenges, that's better. That's one of my biggest challenges, is overcoming that shyness to really be able to go out and just network with someone. So I decided to push myself out of my comfort zone, and I said, I'm going to go to this event, I'm going to network, I'm going to get my brand out there more, and you know, I just want to build up my social media as well, bring more attention to that, so that can in turn generate sales and stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. So the event was in Columbus, Georgia, and as you guys know, if you've been at BFF for a long time, you know I used to live there for about 6-7 years, so I do have relationships there still. My mom is there, so you know I do go back and forth sometimes. So I was like, okay, well, I can drop Rye off at mom's, and then I can, you know, go to the event. First of all, before I even got in the building, I couldn't figure out what the damn door was. So I looked like an idiot, because you could see me going back and forth like 2-3 times. I was like, there was no, I don't know. But I was like confused. I'm like, well, how the hell did I get in here? So like, I'm already thinking that like these people think I'm dumb. They saw me walk back and forth, like just stand like an idiot. Like, I get my name badge because you had to RSVP for the event. I wanted to attend this event last month, but I waited too late and it was sold out. So it's a free event, but you still have to RSVP. So I got my badge and all of that, and I sat down at the nearest table, and I just kind of like sat there and played with my phone. I actually texted my friend Chelsea and was like, I'm at this event, I don't know what to do, I'm shy, I'm super shy, like, oh my gosh, I'm like, you know. I was texting her and I kind of looked around and I saw someone that I knew, which I kind of felt like she was going to be there anyway, because I knew she was a part of this group that put on this event. So I went over to her after she kind of stopped talking, you know, to the person she had a conversation with. I went over there, you know, I was like, hey, you know, exchanged pleasantries and all that good stuff, you know, was conversing and talking. She introduced me to 2 people that she knew, that she had been talking to, and you know, I kind of, you know, was talking to them a little. So like, okay, so I ordered me a drink and it was great. I had a tequila sunrise and it was definitely worth that $7, honey. It was strong. Sorry, that's not what the story is about, but it was a good drink, so I just had to throw that out there. So I was like, let me get me a drink to loosen up, you know. So I got that, and I'm sitting there sipping my drink, still shy, still ain't saying nothing to nobody outside of the person that I knew. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna chill over here, just kind of like blend in with them, you know. So I'm just over there, you know, kind of like on my phone a little bit, joining in on the conversation and stuff. So they ended up having 2 speakers at the event, so it was time for the speakers. So I ended up sitting down and, you know, we would all listen to that. So after that finished, she was talking to someone, and when they finished, he started talking to me, asked me, you know, like, what do you do? And I started talking with him, and I showed him my Instagram, like, oh, this is what I sell. And he was interested in one of the hats that I had, and I was like, well, I got that in the car, you know, because I did bring a couple of things with me just in case, you know, someone was interested. I could capitalize on that moment and get me some sales. So I brought my hats because those are the most popular items when I do events. So I was like, this is something I know I could push, so let me just bring that. And I did bring my mini bags because I was having a sale on those that day, and I brought a few other accessories. So those are pretty easy to travel with, so I didn't bring all my clothes or anything like that. So I had that in the car, so he ended up buying a hat for me. So I'm like, okay, I'm loosening up, I'm feeling good. So I had spotted a girl that I seen earlier, and I was like, okay, I gotta talk to at least 3 people. I got to talk to somebody. I have to make my trip from Dothan to Columbus, me maneuvering the kids, getting them where they're supposed to be able to be here. I have to make it worth it. So I have to push past my fear, and I have to freaking do it. I have to make this moment count. That's what I'm saying in my head. I'm like, okay, I gotta do it. I can do it. All right, so I see the girl, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go talk to her. So I went over there, and I was like, okay, because I'm like, she's pretty, she had her makeup done, she had an outfit. I'm like, okay, you know, then let me go chat with her. So I did, and she ended up buying a bag from me. And on top of that, she actually put me on to an event that's coming up in the Columbus area, which will be very great for my business. So I'm like, hells yeah, because I love doing events, because that's always a big money maker for me when I do those types of events. So definitely was trying to be a part of that. So I got the connect from that. So I got that. So I'm like, oh snap, I'm on it now. Like, I got it. All right, I'm loosened up. I done had my drink. I only had one because I'm doing business. So I wasn't trying to be lit. So I'm like, this is business. I got my little drink. I'm loosened up. I'm talking to people. I'm feeling good. So I brought her bag back. So I get stopped by, I think, the photographer that was there. He was asking me, I think he asked me what I did or something like that, or asked me, because I kept going back and forth. So people were like, well, dang, what is she doing, you know? So I ended up showing him my hats, and he was interested in getting one. There was another guy with him as well. And I can't remember exactly what he does, but I think he gave me his card. Can't quite remember what he does. But he was interested in a hat as well. And then there was a girl there, the one that I had met right when I got there with the other young lady that I knew. She introduced me to her. She was like, well, I didn't know you had, you know, stuff in the car. She's like, oh, I want this hat here. So I'm going out, I'm getting both of their orders, because the other guy, he was like, oh, well, you know, well, he'll just order at a later date, which was cool. So I come back in with theirs, and he's like, wait, I didn't know you had it in the car. Let me get that color off you. I'm like, I got it. Boom, bam, 5 sales. I made 5 sales from this event. Now, mind you, this was like towards the end, the latter half, but listen, better late than never, okay? So I was like, oh man, I'm so hyped on the inside. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really doing it. I pushed myself out of my comfort zone, because that's definitely not my thing. I don't just go up to people and talk to them like that, not outside of a retail setting. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh my gosh. And then promoting like my own stuff, like this is totally different, you know, like you really putting yourself out there. You like super vulnerable, and I'm not that comfortable being that vulnerable. So we still working on that. So it's like, oh my gosh, I'm really out here doing it. Like I was on such a high when I got back to my mom's. Like I was just so excited. I was so proud of myself that I'm like, I did it. I freaking did it. But yeah, so the first time that I went to an event, it wasn't by this group, somebody else. I pretty much sat in the corner. Like it was pointless. I shouldn't, basically I didn't get what I should have gotten out of that because of myself, because of my shyness, and I held myself back. But this time I pushed through that, broke all of that down, and I was able to really network, gain something from it outside of like actually making sales, which is great. And you know, I got some more followers on Instagram, which was my goal for going there. And I wanted to have sales, but I wasn't like 100% counting on that. Like I'm like, oh, that would be great. But I knew, I was like, okay, I definitely want to make sure I at least get some Instagram followers so I can build that up, you know. So yeah, I just was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did it. I said all of that to say that I am encouraging you. This is your sign, if you're watching this video, this is your sign to push yourself past your comfort zone, okay? Because there's something great on the other side of that, okay? If you didn't learn that from this story, I'm telling you, just in case you missed it. There's something great waiting for you when you push past your comfort zone. So that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys check out all my social media networks. And don't forget to shop my store, 107inlux.com. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.